the final game, folks. Which one wins the series?
That's loud, yeah. I know, it's loud. What? I didn't know he was that loud. I didn't even.
You don't have to compromise quality to get great savings on your insurance. Here, take mine.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
To become an apex predator, one thing you must be is a predator. It's in the name, after all. And because an apex predator means that you're king in your environment, it's not crazy to say that some predators are good. But if life was so good for the top dogs, then why are predators seldomly bigger than their prey? Well, the answer has to do with the fact that herbivores get their energy straight from the energy producers themselves, while carnivores have to rely on getting their share through the herbivores, which usually ends up with them receiving just 10% of what the herbivore originally received from the producer, leaving the predators having smaller sizes on average. This size difference has led to evolution, giving predators a wide array of menacing tools and weapons in order to help even the playing field. Such traits have included things like a powerful bite, razor-sharp claws, and pack hunting. And clearly it's worked out well, as many predators are able to take down prey much quicker than themselves. But once in a blue moon, a carnivore comes along that takes the ability of big game hunting to the extreme, developing weapons solely designed for giants alone. And only a few thousand years ago, there was one kitty cat roaming the earth that had perfected this art. This was the king of the Ice Age. In other words, the Smilodon. Thanks to its striking appearance and giant saber teeth, the Smilodon is one of those extinct animals that nearly everyone knows, or at least recognizes, a situation helped by its portrayal in famous movies such as Ice Age. And yet, despite the world knowing it's a cat, it did not start out this way, as when it was first discovered over 160 years ago in Brazil, paleontologists first thought that it was an extremely large hyena. This misplaced judgment was based on isolated cheek teeth, which heavily resembled those seen in living hyenas. And soon enough, this new animal was dubbed Hyena neogaia. However, luckily for the Smilodon's legacy, it was quickly found out that they were much more thoughtful laying around than just some teeth. And within a couple of years, dozens of new body parts were identified, including foot bones, skull material, and giant canines that seemed almost too big for this creature's mouth. With these additional bones, they could also tell that this had never been a hyena, but rather a distinct genus of fluid that was undeniably giant in stature, and far more robust than any known reptile.
I would need
With this in
someone.
mind,
Someone would need to hold me
paleontologists
accountable
decided to rename it
because
the Smilodon
my addiction with
Popliteor,
food is so bad.
with
I
the
don't know if I
Smilodon
can do it.
portion meaning knife tooth after its giant
It'd be
teeth,
hard.
while Popliteor
Yeah, no, it's
supposedly
hard.
translates into the destroyer, or he who brings devastation. A fitting species name considering the lethalness of this predator.
Really?
Along with a name change, the reclassification led to more research
Do
into
you
what kind
crave
of
it ever?
fluid the Smilodon was
Yeah.
exactly. A task that is continued to this day.
Good
With
job.
paleontologists currently placing it in the now extinct subfamily, the Machairodontinae.
Me, I was gonna go back out there after I
Majority
ate.
of what people often call saber-toothed tigers.
I'll do that.
Although a more
Keep
fitting
that in mind.
name is saber-toothed cats, as this group is not closely related to tigers or any other living
You're
cat
right.
for that matter, with perhaps their closest relatives being members
Jace,
of the
I
feline
need that
family.
laid on.
Within the Machairodontinae, Smilodon was further classified as being a Smilodontinae member,
Tablet
who
and
have
the
their
TV.
own moniker, the Dirk.
When do I never?
So far, this is only known to house 5 different genera, making
I
it
asked him that this
rather
morning. I was
rare.
like, why?
Yet,
why do you need
over
it?
the years, it has grown in size.
Oh no, I
Not
know.
through
I
the
know
discovery
that.
of new genera, but rather by the discovery of new Smilodon species. As older remains were eventually found in North America that were assigned to 2 different species, resulting in there being 3 accepted types of Smilodon today: the Popliteor, Frontalis, and Gracilis. If you were being chased by any one of them, you'd probably not care which was which, nor be able to tell them apart. But they did have their differences, with one of the biggest
Look,
contrasts
I can do that.
being when they lived. Gracilis was the oldest of the bunch,
I was gonna say.
having evolved in North America.
I don't even think
from
you need to get rid of energy
Early
drinks.
on,
How many do you drink a day,
approximately
actually?
2.5 million years
2
ago.
a day?
The second oldest,
That's
Fatalis,
not bad.
came along about 1 million years later.
If you dieted,
While
Billy, you'd be
finally
skinny.
the Popliteor
If you dieted, bro, you'd be
appeared
skinny.
about
If you did like a
600,000
strict
years
diet,
after
dude, you would be
Fatalis.
super
Another
lean. I know
era
you're
was the
skinny.
3
You
different
be
classes.
lean,
As
you'd
each
be
new
so
iteration
good.
is larger than the last.
Yeah, like you say you want to get rid of it. If you were to diet, it would be gone.
While Popliteor
This would be Atlanta just talked about last night.
Don't get it twisted though, because ultimately each of these 3 species are pretty huge.
I just don't know if I want to.
With certain
Like, I wanna
specimens,
get fit and
actually
healthy,
making the
but dude,
Smilodon one of the largest
doing it
heroes
forever.
to date.
That was. I think as I got older, I took it.
Gracilis was likely the same.
But now I'm
as
young, I
Jaguar,
do wanna.
the third largest
Well, once
dinosaur
you
today.
get to where you want to be,
Meanwhile,
then you
Phytalis was a bit bigger.
I guess, yeah,
even
we'll
after
see.
having similar dimensions
Little
to that of
cravings
an
here and
African
there.
lion.
Yeah.
However, they were much
That'll
heavier
be
on
okay.
average due to the
It's like
muscular
Christmas,
build,
Halloween.
with their weight being
I'm
around
gonna eat my
280
Reese's peanut
kilos
butter
or
cups.
600
No,
I can see them right
which
there.
makes it equivalent
Don't touch
to
'em.
large tigers. The biggest
Those are
current
your favorite candy?
we have, discounting hybrids.
I hate Reese's.
But things get even more hectic when you move on to the populace.
Alright, love you guys.
Love you too, man. Have a good day. I'll see you
The
later.
bigger bones we know of,
See ya.
namely an exceptional skull, indicating
Oh,
a max body
Jace.
size of around
You need to get your hair done.
470 kilos or 1,040
These
pounds.
clothes your mom picked
So
up.
about the same weight as a
Mom didn't
medium-sized
pick out my
horse,
clothes.
or
Mom,
its current
it's
largest
retake picture
terrestrial
day.
carnivore. And the nice
Oh,
thing
where
about
are these?
Smilodon
It's a nice white shirt.
that it didn't have a
Is
high
it
level of
on right?
dimorphism.
Are you sure?
Bruh. It
Bruh.
was on right.
Good thing I checked, bruh.
It was on right last time.
Given its size, it's widely accepted to have been
How about we do your hair a little bit, too?
its environments. But the Smilodon wasn't just big.
School
Because as
day?
mentioned, it was bare.
Picture day?
Yep.
The first sign that this prehistoric cat wasn't interested in small animals. Specifically, Smilodons had very thick and sturdy bones that in life would have been roped with large amounts of muscle. The heel bone in particular was quite robust, and not to mention long, which indicates that the Smilodon was an excellent jumper, who likely used its vertical leap to jump on top of big-bodied herbivores. And despite no one knowing what its true leaping prowess really was, it's been speculated to have been able to jump higher than the modern lion, who's been observed at times as jumping over 15 feet or 4.5 meters high. Another area where the Smilodon was well built was in its forelimbs. Naturally, all large felids have powerful forelimbs that are designed to hold down struggling prey. The Smilodon really took this to the next level, as its forelimbs were about 20% thicker than what scientists would usually expect of a cat its size. This gave its forearms ridiculous power that was even greater than that of cats bigger than it, like the American lion, for example. With its shredded forearms, the Smilodon could have easily held down massive prey, and they were further empowered by fully retractable claws. But these claws were not like the claws of a lion or a tiger, because while they were razor sharp and curved, the Smilodon's claws were proportionally ginormous, as seemingly many things on its body were. And reconstructions have found them to have been twice the size of the claws of a Siberian tiger, and even longer than those of a Kodiak brown bear, which is sometimes twice the body weight of a fully grown Smilodon. These claws could have clearly cut straight through flesh, but their size was more of an adaptation for holding down large animals rather than dealing damage, with its true weapon, or damage dealer, being its infamous saber teeth. These iconic weapons are actually not unique to the Smilodon, and they've appeared in other mammals, and even non-mammals, multiple times throughout history. This, then, may make you wonder why the Smilodon is by far the most popular animal with saber teeth. And the answer is thanks to their length. Just like its claws, its canines were supersized, proportionally speaking. They're much so.
I almost forgot you had your transfer over here.
Okay.
A feature that is quite uncommon in other saber-toothed cats, like the Homotherium.
Bye, B, love you.
Saber teeth can grow to be 8 inches.
I love you. And I should probably have breakfast.
thus making them the biggest saber teeth animal felid. But they weren't just for bragging rights, because on top of being long, these canines are well adapted to pierce deep into flesh, with the tops having been a sharp point, while the sides were smooth and narrow, and therefore increasing the amount of force concentrated at the hips, letting the Smilodon create catastrophic puncture wounds. Surprisingly, the design was so efficient that it allowed the Smilodon to get away with a not-so-powerful bite. In fact, studies found that it could only bite with a force of 1,000 newtons, 4 times weaker than the bite of a lion. And this weak bite is also reflected by the durability of the canine, as these were slender and fragile. This just goes to show, though, that a good piercing weapon doesn't need a lot of force to be effective. But it did make paleontologists wonder how the Smilodon killed, as its teeth wouldn't have been able to simply attack any point in the body. This led to many ideas on the nature of its killing mechanism, with one of the more popular ones being that individuals would have utilized ambushes in dense vegetation to grab or leap onto a prey, which they could then subdue with their claws, allowing them to sink their saber teeth into the prey's soft belly, thus destroying their guts and incurring massive blood loss. While brutal,